Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Heart's Frontier. I'm Kate Graham, and this is a space where we explore our hearts and that which lies beyond them. So I'm so glad you're here. If you are returning, then welcome back. It's awesome to have you here. I would love to know if you have any suggestions. I'd love to just know what's going on in your life. It's so great when we can talk on YouTube because then I can start to see what kind of patterns and what sort of things people like. I do get feedback from the Empath Energetics folks because I do talk with them. So I know that's generally where the comments will go. So I know that today I'm going to do our collective energy reading, which is this video right here. And this will go for the next week. So it will be from August 8th until August 14th. I didn't even have to look at my calendar for that one because I have a trip August 8th to 13th. So I cheated. It was very easy to find. And then I'm going to do some love readings as well. I'll do the collective extended energy reading also because I always do that. There's always just a little bit more depth, a little bit more richness that comes out of those extended readings. And I generally think that people who are already working with me or people who are in the Nourish Nomad community, in the I Am Unity community, they are people who are ready for more and ready to receive these extended messages. And so that's the only reason that I do that. So if you want to join Empath Energetics, the next round is starting in September. And if you'd like to join iMunity community, our next Nourished Yes challenge will start soon. So I will get back to you with the date on that once it's in my mind and once it's announced as well. But Empath Energetics, the next round is starting the first week of September, depending on, the signups and how people are doing. I know that first week can be a little clumsy or cluttery for a lot of people. So anyways, we're going to start somewhere in that first week. And that is my main, program that I'm doing right now. And I am actually moving to Scotland next year. So that would be the first time I've said this. I'll do more like content actually announcing it. But if you're on YouTube, then, now you know. And so I am changing a lot of things that I'm doing work-wise just to make sure that I'm well aligned for that transition. And okay. Anyways, let's get going. More on that later. Collective energy reading for this week, August 8th to 14th. Okay, I have a bunch of decks out here. And do feel free to peruse. I'm just going to upload all of the videos that I make today rather than spreading them out throughout the week. And I will actually be in Colorado this week for my sister's nuptials, which is going to be really exciting. So I will be doing some mountain walking, some hiking. I'm going to go to some natural springs as well. Okay. Wow. Ooh, there's a lot going on here. I'm definitely really excited to do a love reading. I think that's going to help clarify some of the stuff that comes out and the extended energy. And then I'm going to do a pick a card as well. I'm going to just sit here and make some content for y'all so that you can feel supported this week. So already, the first two cards that I got are confidence and rejection. And I was feeling like this week, there's going to be some challenges, self-rejection there. So I often feel the collective energy a couple days before or the day before that I do these readings. And I will say yesterday was really big for me as far as rejecting myself, being concerned about my past, present, future, really, about how things were moving, and having, calling my own confidence into question. So I guess that's the energy that I'm feeling as well for this week. Here's hoping you go through it smoothly. Leo season can be kind of funny for people because it puts our ego up for us to take a look at. For us to use if we've been in need of it. And also, my experience was eradicating the ego, but not eradicating the confidence. And so I felt like my confidence went with me. When I was trying to remove ego, I also removed confidence. And that really wasn't what I intended. And so that's maybe support or advice to give you for this week. But confidence and rejection, it feels like, what you are. Two things I like to say. One is separation is preparation. So even separation from your dreams and not necessarily from your dreams, but even from separation from self is preparation to deeper connection to yourself, right? Like disconnection brings us to greater connection on the other end. And so hopefully, when you have that feeling, if it comes up this week of like self-rejection or feeling some sort of fear of rejection, and fear of rejection is like, I'm hearing this from a lot of people lately, and I'm seeing it in my world as well. Fear of being rejected, and therefore then like a stagnancy or an unwillingness to move forward, or like it feeling like something is in your way. And so the solution being confidence. And I'm also, okay, so there's also hunger. And this is really fascinating. Like this energy is very similar to what I'm needing, but also what I just came from. So I'm hoping that relating my story helps with understanding here. So it's like something that you're really deeply craving. And whatever that deepest craving is, I think is the thing that's actually affecting you. And I'm also getting the feeling like you may be thinking that it's one thing and it's actually another. So you might be thinking that you're really, really craving a house. But what you're actually craving is belonging and community. And so if you're really, really feeling like you're craving a house, but you're actually craving connection, could you find the connection piece? And then will that make getting a house that much easier? Or, example, I feel like a hunger to be out in the world and sharing my message. And so is it a hunger to share the message, or is it a hunger to like live my purpose and live my truth? And how does that look, right? Like, is it only the sharing, or is it also, there's more to it? And there's always more to it. So it's just about like widening your perspective to be like, what are you hungry for? What are you craving most? Like maybe you're craving a person, right? You're really, really hungry for and craving a person. What is it that that person brings you, and what can you give to yourself? Or what can you glean from that, even if it's not possible, for people who are in separation or that type of thing. And then another energy carrying through from last week, if you didn't really get your sweetness fully, if you've gotten moments of sweetness, I really feel like this is a longer lasting thing. I actually feel like this is about 3 weeks. And I felt that last week, that I was like, I feel like this sweetness thing is going to like start now, but then grow. And so this week feels like medium level. So if last week the sweetness was easy level, this one is medium level coming out, and maybe next week will be intense level. But this week feels like more medium level sweetness. So take that as it resonates. Take anything as it resonates, I will say. Now's a good time for me to remind you that if you're not liking, comment, and subscribing, it may be less often that you see me pop up in your feed. So if you like this, if you're vibing with this, you're probably, someone who belongs in this little YouTube subscriber collective. And I would love to keep reading for you, but I really only read for the subscribers. So it's great when other people resonate with the message and then they subscribe, because then that gets added into this collective that I end up reading. It's way too overwhelming to just read the entire global collective. If you all are interested in global collective readings, I'm happy to try doing some, but I actually need to like set aside my energy for it, because, when you watch the news and they're giving you the bad stuff and you just feel the weight of that, like tuning into collective energy globally really requires that you set yourself up to ground yourself, protect yourself, to be realistic, to be aware. There is equal light and shadow in this world, to my belief system. And so if there's equal light and shadow, you've got to be with the depths of that and the height of that. And sometimes it can be hard, because the height of human excellence and brilliance and joy and abundance, like that is not as highly publicized as the dark decay, crumbling, and the shame and guilt and things that show up. Anyway, that's just a little bit about what this collective energy reading, if you were wondering what collective I'm even tuning into, it's like the collective of people who are subscribed here on YouTube. Okay, transformation for this week. And I saw a caterpillar like recently in my mind. I really was like, and the word caterpillar kept coming to mind. So take that if that resonates with you. If you feel like you already went through a caterpillar phase, like it's okay to have multiple. Maybe it's like a butterfly turns into a caterpillar, on and on and on, in this spiritual way, so that we actually continue, when we're in the winter of our lives and we feel very inward and drawn in and meditative and reflecting and assessing things, that's like our cocooning time. And then our spring is like this cocoon breaking free, the summer being, the butterfly being out, and the fall being, okay, going back into caterpillar mode, figuring out what I learned. And then in a way, we start that cycle again. So I do think it's like cyclical. And right now I'm getting drawn to the caterpillar. So now's a good time to be taking stock in things, reflecting on where they're at for yourself. Okay, I'm really feeling like someone here, maybe multiple people, someone here really needs to do some reflecting on what it is you want most. What is it that you're craving? What is it that you actually deeply want most? And focus yourself on that thing. And it's going to be different for everyone. And I feel like the right thing will come to mind. If what you really want is, I don't know, if what you really, really want is like a house, like what we were just talking about before, then that's where your energy needs to go, lovingly, And if you really, really, really deeply are craving loving connection, your energy needs to go there. If you're not in a loving connection, then your energy still needs to go there, and imagine, act as if, and believe as if. I am going to do our love readings. So like, just take a look at what resonates with you, because I do feel that's coming up for a lot of people this week. They're looking for some clarity that way. Okay. And then, okay, we have past, present, and future. Makes a lot of sense. It's kind of what I was saying earlier, right? Like this past, present, and future, sort of reflecting on like how things have gone, how they are now, what you want in the future. It's very overwhelming. It feels like the beginning of this week might be overwhelming for some people. And I'm getting creativity as well. And I will say the Empath Energetics folks just are in the process right now of their shadow work show and tell time, which is just really making like an art piece that represents your shadow side or shadow self as we've been exploring it the last few weeks. And the artwork that came through this round, I think, is so cool. Not many of them would profess themselves as visual. I don't think any of them would profess themselves as visual artists. And yet what we got was so symbolic, representative of every individual's journey. It just felt like that person. Every image felt like that person, and in their own unique expression. It just really, it was so sweet. Show and tell is something that brings me back to feeling like a kid. And so getting to be like the teacher in this situation where I'm like, oh, that's so great, like really warmed my heart. And creativity was one of these things that allowed their feelings of negativity to be processed. So if it has been a while since you've really done art, even if you just go out in nature and then make something beautiful out of what you see, when people do those leaf mandalas or rock structures or things like that, creativity is something to lean into this week for healing. And really allowing present moment to be more important than past or future, which is really challenging. I personally have a tendency to see and live in the future a little bit more than the present. And a lot of people I know and a lot of people I work with actually have the opposite, that a lot of people live in the past. And it's like, either way, it slows us down from being present. And because it's pulling our direction in some sort of tangent way, or like some sort of way that's away from us. And so when we finally return back to the present moment, we've got like catching up to do of being in the present moment, and that can feel overwhelming. So what's more important is just returning to present moment when you have the opportunity and when you can make space to do so, because that is actually the correct timeline for you. And when you're routing to the present moment, we always want to make sure you're rerouting to your highest and greatest timeline. And so one way that I do this, and then I'm going to switch into the extended reading, because this is, I think, a lot of, the energies I'm feeling, and then I'll keep going. In the extended reading, we have these cards, so I'm going to share them with you. We have throat chakra, we have shielding, we have purity, and we have future. So we're going to talk about that in the extended energy reading. Then I will do love readings, and I may end up doing a pick a card, maybe a quicker pick a card message. I do think that this week will be about facing what you are fearing, being rejected from, going towards with confidence and with kindness what it is you truly, truly, deeply are hungering for, craving for, and desiring. And so whatever happened last week, and whatever happens this week, stay focused in your present moment and on what it is you truly desire, and be sweet to it. When one for me, I think there's multiple things that I could take a look at, but one for me is my career. And I love the current place I'm at in my career, wanting to focus it more on my work rather than on working on other people's work. I've loved serving clients outside of the healing realm, but it's really time for me to be more fully in this work. That's just what I keep hearing. And so that thing that, I could fear being rejected from, I could fear being rejected from this space. It's silly because, there's 104 of you now here on this YouTube. So clearly it's something that is needed and desired, or at least wanted in the people who are here. But that fear, that voice, it's not always rational, right? And so my goal this week is being sweet on loving on the community here, being present with the work that I feel I'm meant to do, and letting that fear just be a part of the fuel. So let your fear be your fuel this week, and be sweet to that which you truly crave and truly desire right now in this chapter, in this life. Bring yourself back to the present moment so you can see with clarity. And again, let your fear be your fuel this week. Okay, let me know if this resonates. Please, if you are watching at this time, at least just be like, "Hi, Kate," in the comments, just so that I know you're here. I love knowing, who the views belong to. And subscribe if you're not subscribed. And if you are interested in booking in with me, all of the links are below. And you'll get a 15-minute chat with me, which usually is a little bit longer, if you're interested in empath energetics. And so no matter what, if you just want to sit and talk to me about how you think it might work for you, you're not really sure, or if you just want to talk to me and see whether it gives you any clarity, I can always, you can use that 15-minute free call to just figure out what service is best for you even. And so you can book that below. There are still some deep belief transformation sessions at the 50% off opening price. There are still some of those available. So if you are interested in doing some deep hypnotherapy work with me, it is a really potent, really powerful thing. And we do it online. So you get to be comfy, you get to be cozy in your home when you take this, or wherever you're comfortable. And it is one of the most profound ways to shift your subconscious in a rapid fashion. So I'm trained specifically in a really, really quick, fast acting, and I would say long lasting, as far as I've determined. I've been studying for a year. I would say it's very long lasting change as well, because when you get really, really deep on your beliefs, that's where those problems and where those challenges come from. And it's where our perception comes from, is our beliefs in things. So really, really cool tool to unlock how you're thinking about things, and weaving in energy and intuitive work and shamanic understanding of things, I think really assists the hypnosis process being very deep. And so some of those are still available. It's only for the first 10 that they get 50% off. And so a few more of those are available if you want to click the link below to book. They're half price. I won't probably ever have them as half price again, because they just give so much value. And you actually get a recording to listen to me for 21 days as well. So if you like just listening to me and I have positive things to say and you want to hear more, but it's specifically coded to you and specifically coded to what you are going through and your challenge and your beliefs that you're changing, then feel free to book. Okay, next round of empaths is September. I'm so excited. Please let me know if anyone is interested. If you feel like you're the right person for the next round, I'd love to get to know you before we start. So all the links below. Okay, take care, everyone.